JaVale McGee flirted with a fan mid-game? Let's find out in today's video as we look at the funniest NBA blooper moments of all time. First up, Paul George's weird pass. You have to agree, sometimes something is on your mind and you can't focus on whatever you're doing properly. Well, that's what happened to Paul George. During a game between the LA Clippers and the LA Lakers, Paul George was given a beautiful pass, and Paul, having a lot in his mind, just straight up threw the ball to the referee, which he probably thought was the referee, but the whole video is quite funny. Just take a look.
Wow, suffocating defense, and Harrell couldn't get the shot up. This is the Clippers' biggest lead of the game. On the wing, George, and nobody home in the corner. He was the lead assistant for Doc Rivers, and then he moved over a chair to become the head coach when Doc was let go. Now he's with the 76ers.
Next up, James Harden taking balls to the face.
Hey yo, what the?
Okay, that title can be taken out of context, but for clearance, I'm referring to the basketball. Anyway, so there's a saying that James Harden is a ball magnet because my guy just can't get enough of the ball hitting his face. The first this scene took place was back in January 2019 during a match between the Bucks and the Rockets. This game was going on just like a usual basketball game when suddenly Giannis Antetokounmpo gets cornered, and in order to not give the ball to the other team, he blindly threw the ball away, and that's when the ball decided, I'm gonna make a legendary moment, and it hit James right in the face. The whole scene is hard to comprehend because it happens so fast, but here, just take a look.
Back down, and he hit Harden in the head.
Harden might have to go into concussion protocol after that.
He got hit hard. You're right, Coach. That was coming in at about 90. Unintentional, of course.
Okay, the face the poor guy made tells us it wasn't really funny for him, but hey, that isn't the first time Harden took a ball to his face. Back in 2019 again, it was a match between the Pelicans and the Rockets. The game was going amazing, the hype was unreal, and then while running for the basket, Harden gets fouled, and this made him so angry that he fouled himself. Just take a look.
Now it's hard.
I just love how Josh Hart saw this and literally couldn't understand what happened during that, and the face he made is purely meme material. Speaking of blooper moments, do you know what's the biggest blooper? You're not subscribing to this channel, so go ahead and do it, or you never know what's going to happen tonight. Anyways, Andre Drummond gets paused by God? When we're speaking of bleeper moments, we have to feature a moment from Shaqtin' a Fool. I mean, we all love that show. It's amazing. So, the pause I'm talking about here made it to the #1 position in that show. The clip showed Drummond literally pausing during the game, and it's almost like his controller stopped working while playing 2K. I mean, just take a look.
Of all time.
Oh.
This is a beauty.
What's happening?
Try to give it to me. Hold it. Yeah,
He's
go
wide
back.
open. Shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Shoot it.
Come back. No. Come back. Ooh. I got
Shoot
you.
it.
Get out my way.
Shoot the ball. He is. Watch. Oh, my God.
Next up, the most embarrassing dribble ever by Kyle Lowry. The game of basketball involves a lot of tricks to work around because obviously over the years the game has to evolve. It's harder to trick other players to get the possession or to just make your play to get a point, but that's what Kyle Lowry did. Almost a year ago during a match between the Bucks and the Raptors, things weren't looking that good for the Raptors, so something had to be done. Something special and also different that no one has ever done before. So my man Kyle stepped in and took a dribble, and he did something so embarrassing that just shocked everyone. Here you go, take a look.
Lowry. It was an interesting move. I don't think I've ever seen anybody try to take their bodies.
Yep, he literally tried to go between George's legs. I mean, that's embarrassing and disgusting. Like, what was he thinking? And to top this all off, the blooper became legendary because Drake was present during that game, and he watched all this happen, and I can't imagine how embarrassing that must have been. Next up, Kemba Walker celebrating way too early. This one is my personal favorite. So if you know Kemba, he's a pretty playful person, he can crack a good joke, and there was this one time he cracked a joke on himself. So it was the year 2016, in a game between the Hornets and the Heat, everything was going quite well for the Hornets as they were up by 7 points with just 55 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And that's when Kemba did this.
And the rebounder, Richardson. Still an opportunity with a minute to play.
I mean, the way he danced, I felt so bad, like he was enjoying his moment and things quickly just went downhill. Poor guy. Next up, Zion takes some time off. So it was an early 2020 matchup, a game between the Pistons and the Pelicans. It was the fourth quarter and only 2 minutes were left on the clock, and every player in the arena was locked in and they were all focused on the game, except for Zion. Yes, he was fast asleep without any worries on his mind, and I just love how the cameramen kept focusing on him. But let's be real, man, you can't blame Zion for sleeping. Imagine being forced to watch a Pistons versus Pelicans game. I mean, I'm falling asleep just thinking about it. It's alright if Zion was just taking a little nap, who cares?
Christian Wood.
Next up, JaVale McGee hitting on a grandma mid-game. Yeah, you heard me right. This all happened during an NBA game as well, back in 2014, and there was a match between the Nuggets and the Pelicans. The game was going fun, but it got more funnier when during the game, JaVale, after saving a pass, went to the fan sitting near him and sat with her. She was a cute grandma, and JaVale straight up kissed her on her cheek. I mean, here, just take a look.
Off the mark. Look at McGee hustling into the front row. He kissed the fan on the cheek.
I mean, I don't know what to say. Is this cute or funny all in all? I mean, obviously the reaction of the grandma is straight up wholesome, and things like these make the NBA a nice, fun environment. But the funny part, however, is how JaVale just casually walked away like he didn't even do anything.
And a big smile, and she crying.
And last but certainly not least, the bat invasion. Our number one blooper moment includes the time when an entire NBA arena got invaded by bats, like literally. You might have heard some weird stuff about NBA game delays, but this might be the first game delay ever due to a bat invasion. And no, I am not lying. Back in 2019, during the 2018-19 season in January, a match was held between the Nets and the Spurs, and everything was going well. Until during the 7th minute of the first quarter, that bat just came out of nowhere into the court, and it created a huge panic for the players. Here, take a look.
To say for sure, and there's no one out here to. This might be the first game delay due to bats in the history of the NBA or professional sports.
And if the Kawhi or if the
Okay, this whole clip is just hilarious. I just want to say that they might need a bigger net. And yes, I'm with you guys. That's like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen happen during an NBA game. And the fact that makes this the most hilarious video is that you guys got literal giants afraid of small bats, using towels as swatters, D'Angelo Russell hiding his pants behind a cheerleader in the tunnel while the poor janitor's out there with a pool net trying to catch bats. I've never seen anything like this. Well guys, that's it for today. Let us know which was your favorite blooper moment from the NBA, and we hope you liked this video. Thanks so much for watching until the end, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.